Hi, it's Janet and welcome to my channel. This is where you can be inspired, learn new techniques, and pick up some new tips and tricks. Get started by subscribing and clicking on the bell. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderfully crafty day. Well, I wanted to stop in and show you this ornament that I made for my craft fair, which was this past weekend. I only made 4 of these because I wasn't sure if they would sell or not, and it just was something I kind of saw online and thought I would try. It turned out to be quite popular. They caught attention on my table immediately, and I brought 4 as I mentioned, but I actually sold 16 by taking some special orders. So I'm pretty sure if I'd had a couple dozen there, I could have easily sold them all. Now what this is a plastic disc ornament that breaks in half, and inside I've placed an acetate with this poem and the graphics, and behind the acetate are some white feathers. Then I sealed up the disc with pearls and put a bow on the top. So I want to show you a disc that is cut out after it was printed. Now this is about 3 5/8 inch in diameter, and I used the insert in the purchased ornament as my template for this circle. Now it's not a perfect circle as you can see, but guess what? That doesn't really matter. It won't show when it's inside the ornament itself. Now you could cut this by using an electronic machine such as a Cricut or a Silhouette or a Brother Scan and Cut. I chose for simplicity's sake just to do it by hand, but definitely could do it either method. I'm going to show you today how I did it by hand. So these are the things you're going to need. This Koala brand transparency film. This is the acetate I used, and I'll put a link to that. It's from Amazon. Then here is the disc ornament. This actually was purchased at AC Moore. Best I can measure, it's about 3.75 inches. I've got some white feathers here that I also purchased at AC Moore. And then I have strips of pearls. They're 6mm size pearls. I used some white ribbon, which is what I made a bow out of and then put at the top of my ornament. You'll need a good pair of scissors, and then I've used a grease pencil, and that is used to draw out the circle before it's cut out. And then last but not least is a glue gun, and I mainly use this to attach the finished bow to the top of my ornament. Alright, so here is what the printed version of the discs look like. And then here is that template that was inside the purchased ornament, and this is what I'm going to use to draw the circle with, or the approximate circle. So I'm going to put that first and put my printout over the top of it, kind of center everything up as best I can. Again, this is just eyeballing it really. And then I'm going to use the shape of that template and take my grease pencil and just trace around that circle. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but it gives me enough idea to go by so that I can cut that out. So I've sped this section up, but I did want to just show you how I traced it with using the grease pencil. And then once that was done, I trimmed it out using my scissors. And you're going to get some leftover of that grease pencil marking on your acetate. So make sure you do that on the back side of your print. That's why I have this flipped upside down, because then you can take a cloth or a paper towel like I did here and just wipe off that excess grease pencil marking, and you can then just go ahead and use it in your ornament. No sweat, no hassle. So now that the acetate is printed, you can start to put together your ornament. The first thing you'll do is separate or open up your disc ornament, and then take your white feathers and start filling up 1/2 of it with the feathers. And these were perfect for my use that I got at AC Moore because they're small feathers and there were pieces of feathers. So for a lot of crafts that probably wouldn't be good, but for this particular one it works great. When I had a feather that just was too big or curling in the wrong direction, I could trim it and then drop them both back in. You'll want to watch for any pieces that shouldn't be in there. There's some dark pieces that I had to pull out of the feathers here and there. But for the most part, these feathers were very nice and clean and white. So you kind of arrange the feathers. You want the feathers to kind of go all the way to the edge in order to not create too much white space on the edges of the ornament. At least that's what I prefer. I want it to be full, or at least look full, and cover the whole section. So I've skipped ahead a little bit. I've got the feathers with the way I want it, and now I'm going to go ahead and place the acetate. And this particular print is really nice because they have that greenery spray at the top, and that is a great place to center your ornament to make sure everything is straight. And once you've got it where you want it, you know, it's going to just rest there nicely. And then all you have to do is put the top on and secure the two pieces together to form the full disc. If you've got any larger feathers sticking out, you can trim those. Smaller little pieces are not to be worried about because you're going to put some kind of trim. In my case, I use the pearl strips, but if you use lace or something like that, it's either way, it's going to cover up anything that's sticking out just slightly. Alright, so now it's time to put on the pearls. In my case, my pearls are connected together in strips, but I have to cut them apart because they're all placed on one single piece of large acetate backing. So separate them using smaller scissors so I can get in between the pearls. And then this comes right off that backing and leaves a sticky surface. So I will use these and place them over the top where the intersection of the two discs are together. And this will kind of hide that and also help keep it be sealed should any children or maybe even adults be tempted to kind of take it apart. It will deter that for sure. Won't stop it completely, but it will make it harder. So sorry I was a little off camera there, but here is what I'm doing is I'm finding that seam and just placing it on the top. So there was one full strip, and then I will cut another strip that will reach around the rest of the disc. And again, as I mentioned, I think these are 6mm size pearls. They really seem to fit perfectly on this particular size of ornament, but you could go smaller. You could probably go a little bigger too. It really just depends on what you have on hand as far as I'm concerned. That's why I use these. I had plenty of these on hand and chose to use those. So I've got just a little bit left to put on the top. So I'll just cut what I need for that and then place the rest on there. And here you can see up close a little better what it looks like with all the pearls in place. I really think it turns out nicely and really makes it a pretty ornament. So now I'm going to use the Works All-in-One tool from We Are Memory Keepers to make the bow. It has these posts that you can put in the board, and then I'm going to wrap the ribbon around it 3 times because this is going to be a bow with 3 loops. And once I've done that, I'll cross over the 2 pieces of ribbon, and I'll take one end, loop it underneath the other loops, pull it over, and then secure it with a simple knot. And I'll put pretty tight on this because I want the ribbon, or the bow, excuse me, to be secure. And that's what's going to hold it all together is that middle, the middle knot. So once I've got that nice and tight, I can take the posts off and show you the resulting bow. It's really quite nice. And I'm going to open up all 3 of the loops so that it kind of fluffs it up and makes it more full. And I'll show you shortly here the finished bow, which is really quite nice. Of course, it needs to have the tails trimmed, but the bow itself is ready to go. And here's the finished ornament where I attached the bow with my hot glue gun. I used the existing strand to hang the bow. I just left that in place even though it was gold. I don't think it hurts anything. I can take a quick look at the back so that you can see what the feathers look like, and it's pretty. So there you have it. I hope you found this tutorial helpful. I'll have the links to all the products in my video description box. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Also, here are some other videos that I think you might enjoy. I hope you'll spend a little bit more time with me here on the channel. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.